Hello, everyone. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I have been watching these stories unfold for more years than I care to count, and I tell you, nothing gets my heart pumping quite like the tangled web that Michael Corinthos and Willow Kane are weaving right now. It is a classic tale of love, betrayal, and that razor-thin line between pure hatred and undeniable passion. You know, folks often say that the opposite of love is not hate, but indifference. And let me tell you, there is absolutely nothing indifferent about the way these two are looking at each other these days. It is like watching two stubborn mules trying to cross the same narrow bridge. Neither one wants to give an inch, but they are bound to crash into each other eventually. Let us start by unpacking this whole blackmail situation, because Lord have mercy, Michael has really taken a dark turn here. When I saw him pull out those signed affidavits, my jaw nearly hit the floor. I mean, we all know Michael has that Corinthos blood running through his veins, but seeing him use such cold, calculating tactics against the mother of his children just sent shivers down my spine. He went out and secured sworn statements from Trina Robinson and Kai Taylor, pointing the finger directly at Willow regarding the tragic shooting of Drew Kane. Now, we all know how much that shooting shook the entire town, but to use it as a weapon to force Willow into submission, that is playing with fire, plain and simple. It breaks my heart to see Willow backed into such a tight corner. She is a good woman deep down, but she is caught between a rock and a hard place right now. Michael knows exactly what he is doing. By holding those affidavits over her head, he has effectively clipped her wings. He is forcing her to move back into the Quartermain Gatehouse, claiming it is all for the sake of keeping a closer eye on her and maintaining a stable environment for little Wiley and the kids. But you and I both know there is a whole lot more brewing under the surface than just co-parenting logistics. He wants her close. He needs her close, even if he will not admit it to himself. And speaking of things bubbling to the surface, we absolutely have to talk about that wild situation with Jacinda Bracken. When Jacinda slipped those drugs to Willow, it was a terrifying moment, but it also accidentally opened up a window into Willow's true feelings. Sometimes when the mind's defenses are down, the heart speaks the loudest. While she was under the influence of whatever concoction Jacinda gave her, Willow transformed. Gone was the bitter, defensive woman fighting against Michael's control. Instead, we saw this incredibly soft, flirtatious, and vulnerable side of her emerge, directed right at the very man who is making her life miserable. Watching Willow playfully tease Michael while she was out of her head was like watching a ghost from the past. It reminded me so much of the deep, profound love they used to share before all the lies and the darkness crept in, and you could see it in Michael's eyes too. For a split second, the tough guy act dropped. He was looking at the woman he fell head over heels for, the woman who holds his heart in the palm of her hand. It is a powerful reminder that no matter how much dirt you throw on a fire, those embers can stay hot for a very long time, just waiting for a breeze to spark them back to life. Now, let us talk about this move to the gatehouse, because this is where the story gets really juicy. The Quartermain Gatehouse is not just a building. It is practically a character in their love story. Sending Willow to live there is like throwing a lit match into a powder keg. Michael says it is about family activities and keeping the kids together on the same estate, but forcing two people who harbor such intense feelings for one another to live just a stone's throw away is a recipe for a beautiful disaster. It is that classic forced proximity that we all secretly love to watch. They are going to be bumping into each other, sharing tense glances over morning coffee, and feeling that heavy, unspoken tension every single day. I cannot help but let my mind wander back to the past when I think about that gatehouse. Do you remember Wiley's birthday party? Oh, I remember it like it was yesterday. Willow was still married to Harrison Chase at the time, bless his heart. Chase is a good man, but the undeniable pull between Michael and Willow was like a force of nature. They were supposed to be hosting a sweet little birthday party for their boy, but the electricity between them was so strong they could not even make it through the cake cutting without sneaking off to that very same gatehouse. They gave in to their desires that day, completely unable to resist the magnetic pull they have toward one another. When you share a history like that, a history built on stolen moments, overwhelming passion, and tearing down boundaries, you cannot just sweep it under the rug. Returning to the scene of the crime, so to speak, is going to bring all those memories rushing back. Every time Willow walks through the door of that gatehouse, she is going to remember the way Michael's hands felt, the way he looked at her when the rest of the world faded away. And Michael is going to be sitting up in the main house, staring out his window at the gatehouse lights, knowing exactly who is inside and remembering exactly what they used to be. The writers over at General Hospital really know how to tug at our heartstrings, do they not? They have masterfully taken these two star-crossed lovers and turned them into the bitterest of enemies. But in the world of daytime drama, there is nothing more intoxicating than watching a bitter feud slowly melt into a passionate reunion. We have seen it time and time again over the years. Two people scream, they fight, they plot against each other, and then one day, the anger just boils over into something entirely different. It is that fiery, consuming passion that can only come from someone who knows you inside and out. I have to give a massive round of applause to the actors, too. Rory Gibson and Caitlin McMullen are just knocking it out of the park right now. The chemistry between them is so thick you could cut it with a butter knife. When Rory delivers those cold, blackmailing lines, you can still see the flicker of pain and longing behind his eyes. And Caitlin, oh my goodness, she plays Willow's internal struggle so beautifully. You can see the exhaustion, the fear, but also that deep-seated yearning that she is trying so desperately to hide. They make you believe in this complicated, messy, beautiful disaster of a relationship. As a man who has lived through his own fair share of ups and downs, I can tell you that relationships are rarely black and white. They are messy, they are complicated, and sometimes you end up hurting the ones you love the most simply because you do not know how else to reach them. Michael's blackmail is wrong. There is no two ways about it. But in his twisted, broken way, it is his desperate attempt to keep Willow in his orbit. He cannot bear the thought of her truly walking away, especially not with the dark cloud of the Drew Kane shooting hanging over their heads. So, what is going to happen next? Well, if I were a betting man, and I occasionally am, I would say we are heading straight for an absolute explosion of emotion. You cannot put two people with this much shared history, this much unresolved anger, and this much physical attraction in close quarters without the pot boiling over. They are going to fight, they're going to push each other's buttons, and they're going to test every single limit they have. But one of these nights, maybe during a thunderstorm or maybe after a particularly heated argument about the kids, the shouting is going to stop. The silence is going to take over. And they are going to realize that the only thing stronger than their anger is their need for one another. I am telling you, friends, we need to keep our eyes glued to the screen. This storyline is a slow burn in the best possible way. The tension is building brick by brick, and when the walls finally come tumbling down, it is going to be a sight to behold. Will they be able to forgive each other for the blackmail, the lies, and the painful accusations? Can love truly conquer the kind of deep-seated resentment they are harboring right now? I do not have all the answers, but I sure am excited to go on this journey with all of you to find out. It is stories like this that remind me why I have been tuning in for all these years. It is about the resilience of the human heart, the mistakes we make, and the incredible healing power of love, even when it comes wrapped in a very complicated package. So, let us keep our coffee cups full and our hearts open as we watch Michael and Willow navigate this stormy season. I have a feeling the sun is going to shine on them again, but they are going to have to weather a heck of a hurricane first. Until next time, just going to yourselves, hug your loved ones tight, and keep enjoying the wonderful, crazy world of Port Charles.